And welcome to the latest and greatest from Step Brother Sports, part of the Hockey Podcast Network and the Bills Mafia Buffalo fan base platform. We're on episode 90. So make sure to subscribe on all of our socials. You can find me at CFMAZ on all of our socials that we have available. And you can find this guy at SV the Don NHL, or find us on YouTube at Step Brother Sports. Don't forget to like our videos, rate, give a 5-star review, do all the other great things you could do to help us with engagement. But we are on the eve of training camp for the Buffalo Bills. As the veterans have now reported, you see a lot of them just having some fun on their social media pages for the Buffalo Bills with just some funny movie posters they're putting up in those dorms at St. John Fisher. But the offseason of many questions is finally going to start to give us some answers. NHL offseason, though, on the other hand, could not be deader than it is right now, aside from Patrick Kane taking one last bag from Chi-Town at this point. Regular season for the Sabres, just over 60 days away for those counting. But we are excited for tonight's guest, of course. You may have seen some of his countless viral video clips regarding Buffalo sports on all social media platforms. He's got a great pulse on what fans are feeling, thinking, and often really as just like a really big voice of the fans himself. Not to mention his content he creates is just regularly full of great humor, really thoughtful often. But we're really glad to have him on tonight. So please welcome Buffalo content creator extraordinaire, Mr. Cam McCarty, a.k.a. Buffalo Origin Story.
Wow, yes, sir. That was about the nicest thing anyone said about me in a long time. So I appreciate it.
You must not have watched our show. You know, Maz is the intro guy. Like, he's known for this now.
Yeah, I've heard a couple intros. Yeah. It's just shocking when you hear it about yourself.
That's what I think Derek Kramer, I think he always thought, like, man, I deserve none of this praise right now. He's always very self-deprecating on himself.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah. But right. More importantly, Cam, big honor to have you on. I've met you in person twice.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, but I first met you at that Wyatt Russell lake plunge back in April, right before the playoffs. Yeah. And then obviously recently again at MafiaCon, where we were able to reconnect, of course. But also really appreciate you being super personal about this and for your time tonight. So let's get right down to it, of course. So not to have a little play on words with your account, of course, but whenever we have first-time guests on, we like to know their origin story. Again, it's more funny because of just the name of your account, of course, this time around. But give us a little inside scoop on what some of your favorite sports memories are growing up, whether they're specifically Buffalo related, of course. If you have a background in sports, whether it's as an athlete playing or if you went to school for it, anything along the lines of that. And then even just what even got you into start the origin story moniker and just starting to create your content.
Yeah. So I think the first thing you said was my favorite sports memories. I kind of grew up in like the 05-06 Sabres era. That was definitely one of my big highlights. And I fell in love with that team, and that was really fun. So all that was great. I was 100% sure we were going to win a cup, especially the first time around. By 05-06 is what I mean. But, you know, of course, it's like injuries and stupid stuff happens and, you know, whatever. That's one of my favorite, you know, memories. I would say like the 90s Bills for sure. I was a kid during that time, but I love the 90s Bills. Still do. That's why, I'm kind of a sucker for the red helmets and the retro unis. I can't get enough of that. You said, how did I get started, or did I play sports? Yeah, I did. I played sports. I was three. What do you call it? Three athlete. Person?
3-sport athlete. Yeah.
Yeah, 3-sport athlete. There you go. I played basketball. I played baseball, and I played football, and I did that my whole life. When I was 8 years old, I had cousins and an older brother who played football. So I was, before that, I was the kid who would go to practice and watch them play. And I like literally couldn't wait to turn 8 years old. Then when I turned 8 years old, I was like, first in line to sign up and played until I couldn't play anymore. And then how did I get started with this? To be honest with you, it was just boredom from COVID. I think we were all in like a little bit of a weird headspace. I mean, I'll speak for myself. I was in a weird headspace COVID, just not talking to anybody for a long time and being around people. So I was just like, who cares? Just do something funny. You think it's funny, do it. If somebody thinks you're stupid or whatever, doing it for the wrong reasons, I don't care. And so COVID kind of put me into that mindset. So that's how it started. And to be honest with you, like I'm being like a lot of people try to humble brag and stuff, and I'm not. I never thought in a million years anybody would ever give. Can you swear on the show?
Oh, of course.
Absolutely.
Fire away.
I didn't think anyone would ever give a shit about my videos ever. And it shocks me to this day that when people do. So that's the truth.
Nice.
No, like I was saying, when you've always had a lot of good humor and thoughtfulness behind it, which is why I think it just resonates with so many Buffalo fans of all kinds, whether you're near or far. It's just easy to connect that way. And the fact that you're able to do this to get started during COVID, obviously, like it speaks to just what you're able to do with just a amount of creativity and time in that regard. But still, like your content really connects with a lot of people just because a lot of times they're feeling exactly what you're feeling when they're watching all of that too. So it's very relatable.
Yeah, that's the best compliment I get. I get that from a lot of people, and it's like the best compliment to me because, like I hope it shows. But I love Buffalo a lot. I love all the people here. I love the culture. And when people say like, "Oh, you get it," like you are kind of our guy, and you do have that voice when I feel like I want to say something and you said it, that really does mean a lot to me. So that's kind of like the highest compliment I can get. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Oh, of course. Yeah, well deserved.
Did you grow up in Western New York?
Yeah, I did. I grew up I grew up in a little town called Sardinia, which is like 40 minutes south of Buffalo.
Nice.
My parents were split when I was a kid, so my dad lived in like Kenmore, Buffalo area, and my mom lived like in the if you're familiar with like the rural area of Western New York. That's I saw a split time between those two areas.
Yeah.
What's that?
The Southern Tier.
You got it. Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Another thing we're asking, I know Sean wanted to kind of get on this too, just specifically tying it to like Buffalo sports content.
Yeah, I mean, bro, you've been making Buffalo sports content for years. I know Chris Maz and I have watched your platform grow tremendously over the last couple of years. So I know you've said a lot of stuff, but if you had to really earmark and pick one, what's the hottest Buffalo sports take, either be Sabres or Bills, that maybe you've held back from posting?
Dude, don't do that to me.
Come on. What's going to make the fans lose their mind? You can tell us one. Come
on. This is what I did not want to happen tonight.
It could be one that like has passed the statute of limitations.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm trying to. I guess my hottest take as of recent, and I put it out there because I was like, I feel okay about this, and that was that I was okay. I was happy McDermott got fired. That a lot of people would buck that, but
totally fair. Totally fair.
I think you only get
totally reasonable.
I think nobody says you get 9 years, and that's generous. And after 13 seconds, I was like, I'm done with this. I think the ironic thing is I think last year was probably his best year of coaching in his whole tenure. So it kind of felt a little icky, but that's a pretty hot take. I was all over that. I was happy, and I also didn't want them to rush into Joe Brady either, but I think more or less did.
Yep.
But that's kind of like a hot take in general for me is their coaching is, they always seem to be the luckiest team in the world because the next guy up is always the guy who's right next to him.
Right.
I don't know why that is, but I would like to see them go out and you really go head hunting for like huge coaches. I think with Allen, you can do that, but
absolutely
whatever.
Yeah. Also, shout out Daryl Russell, the Bills International Fan of the Year. Thanks for tuning in, my friend.
Daryl. That's the guy.
Daryl, what's up?
Too.
Yeah.
Daryl's next. Is Daryl going to be the next guest on Step Brothers
So
Sports?
I got him in the docket. Daryl, keep your DMs and text open on there. So we'll get you on soon, my friend.
Is he really the international fan of the year?
Yeah.
He absolutely is.
I'm like Googling him right now.
We met him at the literally the Draft Theater in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. This guy gave me a ticket for training camp. Tomorrow.
That's awesome.
That's how I got my ticket.
Oh, there you go, Daryl. You're helping out.
Thanks, Daryl.
All around. So thank you, Daryl.
We'll meet up tomorrow.
Awesome.
There you go. There you go. Handle a little business on the pod. Why not?
Hey, how about that?
Yeah.
Well, we talked a little bit about the Bills. So transitioning to them, you mentioned a couple things. You built the Buffalo origin story around what makes, at least this is my perspective, what makes the fan base different from every other city. So do you think this current Bills team still has that kind of the gritty Buffalo DNA? Or are they starting to feel, from your perspective, more like a polished, buttoned-up, corporatized version of themselves compared to the blue-collar team that everybody kind of fell in love with from the 05, 06 times to current,
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
I don't know how I feel about that.
In almost, how could you say they're not? I mean, in almost every way. I think in their defense, it's the nature of the beast. Like if you don't, you'll get left behind. But yeah, definitely they're becoming more of a corporate entity to the point where I honestly have no idea what to expect. I haven't been to a lot of super stadiums before in my life. I've been to like Arizona. That's an old stadium, like kind of relatively old now.
Right.
I don't know if I've really been to any of these stadiums that we have, or that are in the NFL. So I don't know what to expect at all. Like when it comes to like tailgating and ticket, ticket prices now, that is what it is. But we'll see, 6 months from now, a year from now, what that's like. But yeah, it definitely seems like they're more white collar than blue collar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of goes into – I was going to say, I feel like that kind of puts a bow on the whole conversation about the jerseys. I was going to wait for this later, but I feel like it's just such a hot-button issue right now because the whole shtick of the Nickel City jersey is to pay homage to the hardworking people of Buffalo for all the years they put in, too. And just for it to be on top of a brand-new, shiny new stadium that's opening up right now, it kind of rings hollow just because of – all the money that's getting put into it and everybody, not everybody, but so many people getting priced out. This one was a big whiff. Now, I know you posted some content yesterday about your true thoughts and opinions on it too, of course.
Sure.
But it's really hard to get that like blue collar feel with the seats being the way they are. I mean, I only go just because we're out of state. I only am able to go to a game or two a year at most, but I mean, overall, like, are you a season ticket holder, first of all, Cam?
I'm not. No.
Okay. I was going to say, I mean, but how badly do you feel like the Bills just as a whole on their message behind this, just like absolutely, like I was saying, whiffed on this?
Pretty bad. I'll start here. I think the first thing that I would say about them is they look awful.
Have you seen one in person?
No.
Okay.
I think they're just aesthetically, they're a total miss for me. And that always, to me, starts with the red, white, and blue. When I watch the Bills play, I want to watch them in red, white, and blue. If you want to tinker with some type of a third jersey, you have to stay in that lane for me, because when I was a kid growing up watching the Bills, that calls to me like it does something to you when you watch them in red, white, and blue. They're just watching them on the field with that. The removal of the buffalo from the helmet, I thought was just an awful idea. But, that's not the end of the world, because, organizations miss on jerseys. The next part of that is the marketing. And they were behind the 8 ball because they leaked. I don't know exactly how that happened, but there was like this swell of animosity already towards what had happened with these jerseys. And it was really hard. It was kind of hard to come back from that. And I think the marketing team maybe saw that or felt that coming and went like, let's really go over the top with the blue collar thing, which I'm sure was the original point, but like the video was like very raw with blue collar people, which is great. Like, don't get me wrong. That is for sure our identity, but it does land a little funny when you have, all like, the new stadium, which a lot of blue collar people can't get into. And those jerseys themselves are outrageously priced. So and they don't set that price, but still,
I think
it's just
a going rate is like 130 or 140, which is crazy now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, it was, I don't know, as bad as a jersey could go. I mean, like, this will be old news in a week, but as bad as a jersey could go, I feel like it went that bad. I don't really know. I couldn't really think of what's a positive from it. But there's people out there who like them. It's not the end of the world either. It's like we live in outrage culture too, where it's like everybody wants to overreact too. So, but honestly, the thing for me is like, if you want to pay homage to blue collar people, don't change things, really,
right.
or change things back to like if you want to really go do an homage to like, blue collar, bring back everything from the 90s and the 70s that you can. I know it's kind of a silly thing to say because these kind of do look like the original. Look, most people know like the OG jerseys were kind of like this, and
they just had the numbers on the helmet. I think I saw a screenshot.
Yeah. But I just don't think that's what people wanted.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair too, just because, again, like you're saying, there's a lot of people that are quick to have a reaction on it.
Sure.
And I mean, for all we know, like, we've seen the photos of it. They might look okay on the field when we see them actually playing it, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, people will definitely buy it just because they like to either collect it or just have a different jersey to wear on game day too, of course, especially with players on there.
Of course. That's the whole point. Is like, it's kind of, you saw that with the white jerseys that came out last year, the first Nike rivalries. It's like you were nobody if you were wearing old Bills gear during that game. Like, you had to wear that white gear because it was like the whiteout day, and it was like they made a big thing of it. So yeah, I mean, it's like it takes on a life of its own, and now that they've had kind of tough luck in those jerseys, so they feel a little, for lack of a better term, cursed. Even though it's just a jersey. Right. So like, that's the life of those jerseys so far. Maybe someday that'll change. Moving forward with these jerseys, like, what will they be? You're right. Like, as soon as people see Josh Allen and then every 9-year-old kid's going to want to buy one.
It's true.
Maybe they'll rack up a bunch of games. They'll win a bunch of games. They'll be undefeated in that jersey.
Hey, you never know.
Then it's like, well, hey, they look ugly, but they're our good luck charm. So
right. It's like the goat head was undefeated for so long when it made its return. So
yes, everybody hated the goat head when it first came out. I mean, from my recollection, people did not really like that because you were taking away that blue and yellow.
I mean, that was our era of jersey growing up too. Like, I mean, we were just little kids in the 90s, Sean and I. So, I mean, it was easy for us to resonate with that a lot more. Whereas I know like older fans than us, like they might be more attached to the blue and gold. So it's just kind of the same thing. But
look now, I mean, I prefer the goat head to the blue and yellow. It's weird how that has happened, but I mean, those jerseys, once you see them with clear eyes, they're just phenomenal jerseys.
Right. They also kick ass in those jerseys too. They're great.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And there's also the rumor like they might be bringing like a blue and gold, a goat head version of that this year. I bet that'll sell like crazy as well. I mean, and at the same time, NHL jerseys themselves are also, again, not cheap. But I want to circle back to what you were saying about Sean McDermott, because, again, this was a very, let's just say, tumultuous offseason. But obviously, fun times ahead for all those going to St. John Fisher tomorrow. And when we did our show at MafiaCon, obviously I didn't want to harp on this or be too negative just because you're there to celebrate the Bills, of course.
Sure.
But, I mean, with me, and I'm sure this also can speak for others as well, with the way last season really went down, I truly felt like the loss to Denver and like those subsequent moves with firing Sean McDermott, hiring Joe Brady, left, whether it's us and the fan base, just as like maybe as a whole or existentially, I feel like it was more scarring this year as opposed to like playoff losses past. Like, don't get me wrong, we've endured a lot of brutal playoff losses, like you mentioned, 13 seconds. I mean, I went to the wide right Kansas City playoff game. That one was pretty tough, just watching that in person too. So I was on the sideline where Diggs dropped it.
Sure.
But I mean, I feel like this year, like, just because like we're just beaten down again, and like this one ultimately led to a huge change, and there's still tons of questions because obviously not too many were thrilled with Brandon Beane's promotion. I mean, after seeing the offseason unfold, you see all the new free agents come in, you see the trade for DJ Moore, the draft picks made. So still making tons of questions here. So feel like that you're reloading there, by the way. But I want to kind of get your take on this. With all that said, Cam, what is your overall vibe of the Bills going into this season? Are you a Super Bowl or bust, get me to January guy? Are you a riding the wave guy? Are you cautiously optimistic? I mean, overall, how do you think fans should approach this coming season? Because Sean also kind of had a disaster scenario he'll allude to a little bit, but what are your thoughts? So obviously you said you're Super Bowl or bust, but kind of elaborate on that.
Okay. So going back to last year, if we can just touch on that, did it feel like we were a little scarred over and numb from that? I did feel all right, well, what is this, our sixth time around here? It's just the same old thing over and over. So yeah, maybe it hurt really bad, but it was almost like I was used to it or had built up immunity to it.
Right. And obviously we were too young for the Super Bowl year, so God only knows how that
I really was too. But the thing that hurt this year was to watch game after game of other people seemingly making the same catch and it being called a catch and ours wasn't. So that was that kind of tore the scab off for me. That was almost more painful than our play. As far as this year, the vibe for this year is, I think we're one of the best teams in the league this year. I think that we, can and will win the Super Bowl, if not this year, some year with Josh Allen for sure. I don't think a lot has changed every year since we've drafted him, say the first year, this first half of the second year. It's basically been Groundhog's Day. They're world beaters during the regular season, and then they're, injured or get bad luck during the off season, or excuse me, the postseason. One of those times it's got to work for you, and I think that they have everything, that they have every potential. Now, one thing that I don't think a lot of Bills fans are expecting, but I am kind of predicting or trying to brace my mom for example, is that whenever you change coaches, even though he's been right by McDermott's side this whole time, there will probably be bumps in the road, and they have a very tough schedule to start. So last year, what did we start 4-0? And every year we start pretty hot.
Yes.
That we might not catch fire till the end of the year. It may be it may seem a little bit more up and down because we may not be as sharp, but that might not be true. I mean, you hired the closest thing to a smooth transition as you possibly could, which is Joe Brady. He knows the system. He knows the facility. He knows the players. All that's gone. You don't have to learning curve that at all. So hopefully he can take it and run with it. But being a new head coach in the NHL or the NFL is not easy. So, but sky's the limit. I'm not one of these people. I think that they make a big upgrade with Moore. Hopefully, I mean, he's on 2 declining seasons, but I still believe that there's a lot there. I'm excited for Skylar Bell. So, and then if Moore is good, if Moore's a real number one, which I think he can be, then he kind of pushes everybody into the right spot for me. So that's one of the things that really makes me pretty excited. Also, just getting younger and hungrier on defense. I mean, the guys they rolled out last year, especially towards the end, I mean, it was a pretty broken down unit. With all due respect to those guys, I love all of those guys a lot.
I mean, it's pretty wild that none of them have made it on to different teams at this point. The defenders from last year. But Beth knows ball, so yes, good to hear from you. Not new to the Mafia, nice to see that. So hey, nice to know that you do know ball. But and also not impressed with Brady so far, but Leonard and Carmichael. So hey, I mean, change can be good in a lot of different ways. It's
early. I mean, it's early. Even the preseason, if we were 4 preseason games in, you wouldn't know what to say about Brady. I mean, they could lose every preseason game 100-0, and I would still be like, who cares?
Right. It's interesting too. I usually don't like to tune in to like the national pundits, especially at this time of year, because there's just so much garbage. We talked about it at MafiaCon. The Bills weapons group is ranked 29th. Like, in what world is that even feasible? But I saw something actually that surprised me from Dan Orlowski. I think it was yesterday or the day before, where he was saying he believes this is actually the best total group of not only weapons for Josh Allen that he's ever had, but also with the new juice on the defensive side, like you said, with like that whole rotation that they can bring and the guys on the back end. And I tend to, be a little bit optimistic in that way, be a little bullish. I somewhat agree. So I'm guessing you're probably not going to, say something crazy to this next question, but I posed this question to Sal Marana from Rochester Democrat and Chronicle last episode, and I said, in your mind, could you see a scenario that was like Chris alluded to, a disaster, like obviously short of like Josh Allen like breaking his leg or something, whatever? Do you see any way that either Brandon Beane could get fired this year or Joe Brady would be exiting after one season? Can you see that happening in any way?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Unless there is some type of total breakdown, which I don't. I mean, like you said, I won't even say those words out loud, but
yeah, no need to speak anything into it.
No, I don't think so. And Beane, for what Beane, he took a lot of flack because the way it went down was kind of, for sure, a tough pill to swallow. I get that.
Right.
And Beane's, I think Beane's thing is that he hasn't been able to make a splashy move since Von Miller.
Right.
Where Bills fans have been really calling for it. But, there's this stat out there, and I hope I'm getting it at least somewhat accurate of the Bills offense since 2000 and their defense since 2000 has been number one really from point scoring aspect. I think it's something like that, right? And that's
up there. Yeah.
A lot of that's personnel. I mean, so what are you going to do? You can't. You can't really. I don't think point to Beane except for in spotty areas and say he doesn't build good teams. I mean, all of these teams are very, very good. And you can definitely point to game time decisions. I mean, every single year you can go McDermott will lose you at least one game, and in the playoffs, his defenses fall apart. Which again, they're always banged up, right? So it's that's not always his fault too. But to answer your question, I don't see Beane being let go. I think that would be a really colossal collapse.
I think he would have to have some type of catastrophic behind-the-scenes HR flub right there. Also, sound the alarms or ring the bell.
Oh, Beth knows ball. She does know ball. That's my guy.
Yeah, she does. Right there. Sound the alarms or I like that.
Yeah, he's going to be a fun one to watch this year. I'm trying to figure out who's going to be that KJ Hamler player this year who's a bubble player, that everybody falls in love with.
Oh, yeah. There's always a storyline every year. And obviously it's not going to be as magnified just because there's no hard knocks either.
There's no hard knocks, but there's always somebody it's Chris Hogan or it's
right.
Andy Isabella.
Who was it? Who was yours?
Andy Isabella.
Yes. And there was another receiver too. Who was that other receiver we had?
Brandon Riley
was good.
Brandon Riley.
Isaiah Hodgins was pretty good.
Yep. And then you can't forget Christian Wade, the English
Christian
extraordinaire.
Wade. Yes. The Rick Rodgers.
Oh man, the Rick Rodgers. There you go. That's a good pull right there.
That's pretty good. Thanks.
Jalen Virgil. That's a good one too.
Nice. Yeah. So I don't know who that player. I have no idea who that player is going to be this year. There's a lot of young guys coming on. So we'll fall in love with somebody and start rooting for them like crazy.
Right. I will say Elam Zor does actually have a legit chance to win a starting job though. Yeah. Usually that's not the case with this type of player.
You talking Elarms? You talking about?
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, he's not exactly that player. The king. We didn't even mention the king of that is Buffalo Joe.
Oh, Joe
yeah.
Andreessen, yeah.
I mean, Andreessen, like, is the epitome of that player.
It's true.
I mean, he definitely had a camp storyline last year. Obviously, it was kind of jarring that Terry Pegula had to ask, like, "Oh, who's that guy?" Despite just all the prominence he had around. Also, sorry if you hear thunder in the background. We're finally getting some much needed rain where I'm at in the neck of the woods. But anyway, wanted to transition just a little bit to get a brief word from our sponsors. That is DraftKings Sportsbook. So DraftKings Sportsbook is now available in all 50 states and includes all markets. If you are a futures betting kind of person, the Buffalo Sabres, if you're looking at those odds, they are plus 3,000 for the Stanley Cup next year, tied with the Los Angeles Kings, New Jersey Devils, and Utah Mammoth. Top of that is led by Florida and Carolina at plus 650, but it is nice we're still ahead of the Leafs as far as Stanley Cup odds. If you're looking at the Bills for their week 1 game against the Texans, they are favored, kind of a pick 'em, but at the same time, they are favored by 1.5 going on the road in the House of Horrors to Houston. And hey, if you're a baseball guy right now, also your World Series futures bet, Dodgers with the commanding plus 190 odds to win the World Series with our aforementioned Sal Mayorana's Yankees at plus 550. But for new DraftKings customers, sign up with code THPN, as in the Hockey Podcast Network, THPN. Spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. Again, that's code THPN. Ooh, a little thunder with that one, too. How about that? In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. So, Cam, I wanted to also just kind of circle back to some Sabres talk also, because
how many people are on this chat or this stream, by the way?
So far, we are capping off right around just under 400. So,
wow.
So yeah, we got a good steady stream in at the moment. Let's see. Anyway, yeah, with the Sabres. So obviously their most recent playoff run. Some of your content, obviously, you got to wield a memorable beer saber for a lot of your content this year. So that was always a hit too. But like we talked about with the Bills already, what were your thoughts on the Sabres after even their tough ending to an overall awesome season? But what did you think of their approach in this offseason to getting younger overall, or even just maybe what are your thoughts on letting players like Tuck or Bowen Byram walk too? Just give us your Sabres vibes going into next season.
I think the Sabres will be okay. I am a little disappointed in the way that they tried to fill, some of those holes that were left behind, especially with the assets that they had. I don't know if they're getting boxed out by trade clauses. It kind of seems like they are. But, it's tough. It's like everything you get your hopes up on, whether it's Larkin or Hellebuck or even Kane, which is really more of a guilty pleasure than anything. Like if it wasn't Patrick Kane, I would have not have cared at all, but I just love the guy so much. I would have loved to have him come home. But they have a ton of young talent, so they're not in really tough, because some of these guys are really good coming up, and they're gonna hopefully take on some good minutes. But not replacing a guy like Tuck, I don't know. It sucks, man. It's like it really sucks.
I mean, in theory, Kane would have added a lot of that leadership that Tuck had.
Yeah.
I mean, we brought this up a couple weeks ago where I kind of did a side-by-side comparison using like that J-Fresh hockey stats on there. Yeah. I mean, Kane was arguably more valuable than say scoring-wise, as opposed to like your Jack Quinns of the world. But I obviously know the team's pretty high on Quinn. I mean, and there's a lot of chatter oh, is he part of a trade package for Hellebuck or something like that? I mean, again, like the Bills, a lot of unknowns with the Sabres, just because this has been a constant discourse with us. With the big three, you got Oslin, Helenius, and why am I drawing a blank on there? And Kulik, yes. Kulik. So relying on the youth again, I feel like that's almost like it's a Kevin Adams type of move right there. But there's a lot of faith being put into these guys too. And the team's perpetually still one of the youngest teams in the league, of course. And I'm a little bit more cautious with the Sabres this year than I am with the Bills. I mean, I think the Bills will at the very minimum be a playoff team with a good chance to make a run. But the Sabres, I think it's hadn't made a big move. I mean, the Zellweger move for getting the replacement for Bowen Byram, I mean, that's easy. That's an easy one to like right there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's hard for me to get fired up for just like, all right, we're going to count on our draft picks when you have a GM that's got a reputation for making these big splashy moves or making some type of aggressive trade or signing. And that hasn't happened yet. I mean, I know a lot of people are apprehensive on maybe that move being Connor Hellebuck just because of his age and just previous resume in the playoffs. But I mean, Cam, I mean, what do you think just going into next season? Do you think it's wise to just trust the kids going into this? I mean, you kind of already alluded that like they have a lot of good talent already on the roster. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know if they'll have a choice. You saw them already burn the 4th and the 20th overall pick. If they were going to make a move, it would have been then. Quinn is a great trade piece. That's something that I think I could live with. And other teams are like, hey, that's a former 4th overall pick. So you're not, that's a nice piece. Normally it'd be like we're in trouble, but the way Hellenuus played in Montreal last year, I was blown away. Like, who was it? Whatever. People were like, oh, how is this kid going to step in? If I'm being honest, I was kind of like, how is this kid going to step in? And he was like, really blew me away about how he seemed to be completely unfazed by the whole thing. I mean, he was very good. So, it's possible. It's possible. I think they have a really good core, and their goaltending was great in the regular season. So I don't think it's crazy to think that they'll go on another run. But are they better than last year? No, they're not. So it's a tough spot to kind of live in,
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, you have a lot that you're really trying to fill in just because Byram, he was a point producer. He had one of his career best years. Tuck, he's a 30-plus goal scorer. And then Beth chiming in as well. Our draft picks are going to be playing on the farm team for at least a year, mostly 2 to 3 before they are ready for the pros. And not many rookies play at that level. Yeah, and that's the thing with hockey. It's just you're not able to fully integrate all these assets that you have going into your systems right now because some of these guys might be playing in like junior leagues as well before they even get to say the AHL or Rochester for that matter. So it's really hard to just put a projection on them because look at Radim Murka from last year. Mm-hmm. I think he's finally going to be able to at least crack the AHL roster on there this year because they sent him back out to the WHL last season. He only played like about 10 games with the Amerks last year. So. And it was nice that they didn't burn a year on his entry level deal, but still, there's plenty left in the cupboards, of course. And if you really were going to pull the trigger and make a huge trade, you have a lot of ways to do it. But I don't know. I'm still not sold that they're not done. But as a lot of people refer to it right now, it's cottage season where nobody's doing a damn thing in the NHL. With the exception of just like these scant few free agent signings, like again, Patrick Kane being last week, of course. But kind of looking back on him, there was no way in hell Jarmo was going to pay Kane $8 million a year, even if it was all bonus centric. Good on him for getting a 2-year deal and $8 million per.
They could afford him. Chicago could afford whatever he wanted, honestly.
Right. So. They had a lot of FU money to work with this year, even though it was just because they didn't have a lot of talent already on the team to begin with. So it is kind of funny that you get the 8 years for 2 years. Do you get the number 88? I wonder if that was a little play into that as well, but still.
Yeah, I never thought that. Yeah, we had cap space too, but that would have been crazy for us to do. Kind of like Tuck. As much as I love Tuck, and I think he's a great player, and I think he earned every dollar he got, signing a 30, what is he going to be 31 next year or 30 next year for most of the year? To what he got is insane too, so I don't have any problem with him, kind of walking away from that. But like you said, it's a man's league. It's like it's hard to fill spots like that, and they definitely have the capital to do something if they wanted to. I think it just comes down to getting boxed out by no trade clause. It's tough for them,
And it's nice. You heard a little bit of a trickle of that where Jarmo himself saying, "Oh yeah, we're coming off a lot of players, no trade list." Winning fixes everything in that regard. So I feel like, and not to mention the fact that like people saw like downtown Buffalo during the playoffs. I mean, they saw the Blade Gang. They saw it basically turn into like Bill's tailgate. So now, were you able to go to any of the playoff games this past run? Which ones did you go to, if you don't mind me asking?
I went to the first game. I think I went to both game ones.
We were at the Boston game one, so what an unforgettable moment.
Boston
core sports memory.
Was great. It was actually like one of the weirdest games ever. It was like a horrible game for like.
For a while. But
best day of your life.
Yeah, last 10 minutes of electric.
Yeah.
Paige woke up.
Yeah. What was sick that the Samuelson goal was like incredible. I think that was a game winner, right? Down the stretch.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
that was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd erupted.
Yeah, it was. That was the best. That was probably the best Sabres atmosphere I've ever experienced, and I've been to definitely over 100 Sabres games in my life, and that was up there with like 05, 06, huge games like that JP Dumont overtime winner. I think it was.
That's a good. Yeah,
I don't know if it was overtime, but. And I remember I was there when Campbell hit RJ Umberger.
Oh, that's a good one right there.
I was like 5 rows. I was like probably 10 rows back. It happened right in front of me.
Right at the blue line.
Yeah, and, now that's a core sports memory right there.
Yeah, I like blacked out. I mean, I'd been drinking, so I was somewhat blacked out already.
Right.
I blacked out because the next thing I knew, I was standing like 3 rows from the glass, and I was 10 rows back. So I don't remember jumping up and running down, any of that. I just woke up like right in front of it. It was crazy.
Hey, Crusher Cam is your nickname for a reason, man.
Yeah.
So.
I remember that one too. We had people over at the house. We were watching our unfinished basement with the Rick Jenneret call. Fantastic. I'll never forget.
Rick Jenneret. When you hear it back with Rick Jenneret, it's better.
It's way
better than being there.
Yeah, for sure. I did want to ask you, Cam, one thing. We kind of alluded to like the three young horsemen, whatever we're going to call them. I mean, if the moves are done, which they may or may not to see when we get to camp and the season starts, maybe it's something where they make an in-season move. We don't know. But if this were to become essentially like a growing pain type of season, would we feel okay if they were to actually miss the playoffs this year in order for us to take a giant leap with those guys as core pieces, like moving forward? Or is that going to like be super painful? What do you think?
No, that wouldn't. I don't think that would be a huge problem. Getting the monkey off our back this year was huge, and you got to keep it in perspective. I mean, we literally went from a team that would do anything to just lose in the first round to a fan base that was like, we have as good of a chance as anybody of winning the cup, and it happened like overnight. So, will we regress a little bit back to the norm? Probably without Tuck, and Byram, but I would forgive them for that. Like I would not hit the panic button. I would, I think they deserve, if they do take a step back, they would deserve that. You know what I mean?
Right.
As much as I hate to say it, even for the Bills, like if the Bills did that for what they've done over the past 6 years, I think we'd all have to go like nobody gets it that good, right? Nobody's the top team in the league forever. Nobody is. Right. It would be crushing. I mean, it would suck because we're just not used to it. But
right.
No, I would still be very optimistic about them.
Yeah. Also, Chris Maz, isn't it after this coming season, the Skinner money's done?
Mostly done. It's going to be a lot less expensive. Like this is the hardest year of it. I think it's like $6 million plus. I think it goes down to like two-ish or so, give or take.
We're gonna have
first couple were like right around 4.
Crazy money. Like we're gonna have crazy cap space for the Sabres.
I think they have like $40 million plus in cap space next year. But Beth again chiming in. Need to win a cup for Lindy. That man wants it more than any of us. Again, I mean, for a man that is, I think Sneaky Joe said this, that has been involved with the Sabres in every decade of their existence. I think he, above anybody else, yes, I agree, definitely deserves that cup. But yeah, going into next
about
off season, yeah, going into next off season. I mean, like if they are going to take the swing, like yes, you'll have to pay Jack Quinney. He'll be an RFA. There's a couple other guys, I think. Maybe a couple of those kids, I think, are due for a contract. I know Zucker's going to be a free agent as well. But still, a lot to like about the Sabres going into next season as well. I think it's going to be a hell of a homecoming for them once they have their home opener against Chicago, no less. And go figure, Pat Kane being back for that one too, of course. But that banner raising ceremony, I think, will be pretty awesome too. But this next part, Cam, is not anything Bills or Sabres centric on here. It's a segment we do just to kind of have a little bit of fun with it on here. We call it the Grind My Gears segment. Or if you got no gears to grind, you give someone their flowers. So if you got something that's absolutely driving you like bonkers, fucking crazy, just batshit crazy, talk about something that might be grinding your gears. Or if you're not willing to lay down some hate tonight, feel free to give someone their flowers. Anybody that's been wonderfully to you recently, or to basically just like give people their props. So I'll kind of start it off. Like I was alluding to you off camera, I'm counting some calories lately. I'm down a few pounds on the scale, but what grinds my right? Yeah. Thank you. But what grinds my gears about it is that you even deviate just the slightest absolute amount. Like say you even have like a beer or two, like you're magically up like a pound or two, or like if you happen to eat any like remote trace of sodium on there. It's like, man, like, and then you got to work your way back. It's like weekends are a battle. That is what's been grinding my gears lately while just trying to be on a fitness kick for the summer. Yeah, Sean, how about you?
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember, right? So I told Chris, I mean, not that long ago, a couple months back, that I was to do the keto diet. And he's like, dude, he's like, I don't know how. He's like, I could never not eat carbs.
Yeah.
For the most part, I mean, I did eat a slice of pizza before he went on. That was rare. But yeah, I mean, I've pretty much gotten used to it, not really eating carbs. So not the worst thing.
Yeah. But anything grinding your gears lately, Cam? Just it could be sports related, non-sports related, just something totally mundane, or you got any flowers to give?
I want to give somebody flowers. I could say the jerseys, but we got to get over it at some point.
Oh, sure.
Who would I give flowers to? I don't. Catching me off guard.
I was gonna say the easy cop out for us on our end. I always go with my wife on that one because it's just you can never go wrong with that. Can never go wrong with that.
Yeah, my wife, my family, my kids. They're always good too. I can't think of it. Yeah, we'll stick with that. I don't know.
Hey, like I said, never a bad answer to always give flowers to the family.
I do got another one. I'll jump in and save you.
All right, thank you.
Since we've been on here, I see that our Pirates, my Pirates, have tied the game. They've scored at least 3 or 4 runs actually in the last 2 innings to tie the D-backs in the 9th inning at home, which will be going to PNC Park again soon with Chris and our parents, both of our parents.
So avid Pirates fans in the family. So
we do have Pirates fans. And also, too, I don't want to give away too much about this because it's still very much in the works. But I did have a chat recently with a good friend of the show, someone that may or may not be in the Sabres organization, in regard to a potential Sabres con type of thing.
Ooh, so be very interested in that. As I know we were trying to see if we can stir up something while we were at MafiaCon for that. But hey, that's great to hear.
Followed it up, so I'll keep everybody posted. I know. Well, Chris and I talked about it, and then we also who else did we talk about it with?
We literally talked about it with Dell when we were there. He didn't want to step on any toes, so he was being very respectful about it.
He's got enough going on with MafiaCon with the Bills. Oh no, we talked about Pat Moran. Pat Moran was like, someone should do this. I heard him talk about it on his show. Mm-hmm. I was like, you know what? I might know enough people to do this. So I don't know. We're gonna keep in touch with everybody, and we'll have to keep people posted because I think it would be pretty cool. I think, and actually, Chris, I know you know who I'm talking about. I don't want to name drop said person, But they were said, like, do you think that there's interest in doing that? And I was like, absolutely. So,
oh yeah, ton of buzz going to the off season there.
Definitely.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to give flowers to. Can I come?
There you go. Yes, let's do it.
You mentioned him. I'm going to say Del Reed.
Awesome. Yes. So
that guy, if you don't know him, I mean, it sounds like you guys know him pretty good.
Got to know him, especially in our exchanges for getting ready for MafiaCon, but yeah, absolutely well deserving of flowers.
He really is a great guy. He's very humble, and like he will, I told him when he, he's like the face of Bill's Mafia, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I think you're the perfect person to have come up with that, because you're so humble and you give so much. And not only do you do so much with 26 shirts, but you're like, hey, it's 20, I came up with it, but it's everybody's. I'm not like,
right,
it's mine. Right. Don't use it. Don't say it. Right. He's like, no, he's like, I've never been like that. And not everybody's like that. When they come up with something, they want
not an ego guy at all. No ego with him.
Because it's their identity. And I honestly, I think he's like the perfect person to have like led that charge. And there have been times I've talked to him, and we played last year. I think we played Houston, and like Snoop Dogg said, Bill's Mafia, and he was like, Cam, he's like, to this day, like I can't even believe that like Snoop Dogg says Bill's Mafia, something I came up with. He's like, it just still to this day gives me chills. Awesome. And I'm like, dude, you're the GOAT, man.
I mean, we got the hats that say it on there, but like he literally made the embodiment of like mafia means family. Like he could not have been more accurate with like how that was portrayed. So
he's a cool guy. He's a really cool guy, and super down to earth. Like, if you talk to him, he'll make it more about you than he will about him. So that's the kind of people you want to be around.
Absolutely, yeah. Very, very selfless guy. I mean, it pours everything into the community too. Like easy to love, and give a shout out to Del. So again, Del, if you're watching, obviously this is like your podcast network, of course. But yeah, thanks for all you do, man.
Oh, it is. Well, then he better be watching.
Yeah,
what's up, Del?
Fan base. He
the Crusher's on. He's watching.
Yeah, probably.
Yes. But as we're wrapping things up here, Cam, really appreciate your time on here. But we want to make sure that we give you a plug, of course, for obviously anything you have upcoming down the pipeline, or if there's anything you want people to give a heads up on that you might be working on.
Honestly, that's very sweet of you guys. Very nice of you. No, nothing. Like I don't really have a lot of stuff coming out. It's the same old. Like I will probably be phased out of this game at some point because I don't really have anything like that. Like, so if you follow and you like and you laugh, like just tell me that, you'll make my day. But other than that, like, do something that makes you happy. Go find something that fulfills you and you have fun with. Stay off the internet, to be honest with you. Like, don't go on the internet. Don't watch Origin Story. Do something outside, have fun, enjoy your families. If you have kids, enjoy your kids because they grow up really fast.
I'm learning that very quickly. I have a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old. So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But hey, how about that for a selflessness right there from Crusher Cam, of course. But yeah, Cam, we really appreciate the time, obviously. But then you also get to enjoy some training camp tomorrow. So really wishing you a happy time there tomorrow. I'm sure you probably have an early start as you're making your way to Rochester.
Yeah, I think I'm leaving at like 6:15. Are you guys going?
No, I mean, I'm in Virginia. Sean's down in he's in Mississippi at the moment down there for work. So we're all around, obviously, but at the same time, as much as we'd love to go to training camp, not exactly the most feasible option for us here. But for our just over 450 viewers on there, I know it was a little bit of a harder times because I know we were coinciding with another Bills show tonight. So shout out to the K-Gun Report. Again, I know, sorry, we were coinciding with theirs at the same time. But at the same time, we have next week, we're going to be hosting Travis Carlson. He's the author. If you've ever seen the Buffalo and the Multiverse books, He'll be on as our guest next week. We had the opportunity to catch up with him while we were there at MafiaCon as well. But he is, again, an award-winning filmmaker, too, part of that Pan-American film division. So he's going to talk about a little bit of what he has cooking as well. He's got a Sabres project he's working on as well. But, yeah, training camp right around the corner for us. Again, literally tomorrow, folks. Excited to finally have real Bills football to talk about now. Hopefully everybody's soft tissue stuff, fingers crossed, whatever prayer circle you need to make, do that now, just so we're not speaking anything terrible into existence. Knock on all the wood, whatever you have to do, of course. But still, looking forward to finally talking some real Bills football going into the new season. Shawnee V, any parting thoughts?
No, I'm excited. Camp is back. You get a chance to get up there, enjoy. I mean, maybe there's a chance that I may slide up there. I'd say it's like 35%, but that's okay. There's enough great people on that cover the team that it's like you're being for their daily report. So shout out to all their media people.
They really do. They do a good job.
Yes, and busting their tails as usual. But anyway, that'll do it for us, folks. Thanks as always for tuning in. Enjoy the return of real football to talk about, and as always, let's go Buffalo.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Cam. Y'all take
Have a
care.
good day.